Hello everybody. In a survey of favourite hymns, Dear Lord and Father of Mankind is usually in the top 5. It's a favourite hymn in the Benefice, and it was written in 1872 by a man called John Greenleaf Whittier. He was an American poet and an abolitionist, and surprisingly perhaps a Quaker. So hymn singing wasn't something he would have done. Indeed, he was very dismissive of hymn singing in worship. He regarded it as a form of ritual intoxication. Make of that what you will. The words we're so familiar with are from a longer poem, and he did eventually allow these verses to be adapted and used in a hymn book. We usually sing this hymn to the beautiful tune Repton by Sir Hubert Parry. The reason this hymn has been on my mind is because I've so often found myself thinking about silence these last few weeks. Like many of you, we've spent a good deal of time out of doors, and sometimes the silence has been quite extraordinary and broken only by birdsong and the buzzing of bees. And it's that phrase from this hymn, the silence of eternity, that kept insinuating itself into my mind. I'm sure we've all occasionally been pulled up short by what we haven't heard for quite some time. We live within earshot of the A3, the main line to London, and like many of you, underneath the flight paths towards Gatwick, Heathrow and Southampton airports. And for days at a time we've hardly heard any trains, minimal traffic, and no aircraft within earshot. The day we noticed a contrail high up in the bright blue sky, we stopped to look at it for a while. Silence is an interesting state to be in, and true silence is really hard to find. We wake up in the middle of the night and it's seemingly silent. If you listen, you can probably hear the fridge ticking over or something happening in the house. I understand that even our bodies are never silent, and I don't mean snoring here. In a scientific experiment in an anechoic chamber, which I'm told is a closed room without echoes, it was possible for someone with perfect hearing to hear the high-pitched sound of their nervous system operating, and also the low-pitched sound of their blood circulation. At times of great tragedy or fearfulness, we might sometimes ask, why is God so silent? I asked this of one of my tutors during training, and she said that for her the image of an eclipse of the sun was helpful. An eclipse isn't anything that's changing in the sun. It's something that comes between the sun and our vision. We live in a noisy world most of the time, which is perhaps why our experience of silence can be so profound. And that's perhaps why this hymn holds so much appeal to us. It recognises that our often noisy lives create a barrier for the voice of God. We just can't hear him through the cacophony of everyday life. Viewed that way, silence can be a blessing and not something to be feared. From today, you'll be able to join me for Compline night prayer, which may also help you sleep. I'd like to read to you 4 verses from this hymn, one of which you might not recognise as it's usually omitted from our hymn books. Do try hymns as prayers occasionally. They can take on a completely different significance when we read rather than sing them. You'll know the ones that will work for you. So this will be our prayer for today as we seek God's help to use and enjoy silence as a route for his word to speak to us, a still small voice of calm in difficult times. O Sabbath rest by Galilee, O calm of hills above, when Jesus knelt to share with thee the silence of eternity, interpreted by love. With that deep hush subduing all our words and works that drown the tender whisper of your call, as noiseless Let your blessing fall, as fell your manna down. Drop thy still dews of quietness, till all our strivings cease. Take from our souls the strain and stress, and let our ordered lives confess the beauty of thy peace. Breathe through the heats of our desire thy coolness and thy balm. Let sense be dumb, let flesh retire. Speak through the earthquake, wind and fire, O still small voice of calm. O still small voice of calm. Amen. Until the next time, keep safe and goodbye for now. Goodbye.